As the leader of opposition side, I would like to disagree with the motion because here we believe 100% that this house should still criminalize and record the case of victimless crime. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe a lot of people think that victimless crime is just an ordinary illegal things, but actually no. Ladies and gentlemen, victimless crime is illegal things without direct victim, but we cannot say that the crime have no victims, ladies and gentlemen. All crime have victims. That's what I would like to emphasize with. Ladies and gentlemen, victimless crime does actually has the victims. But who can be the victims? It may be not the direct victims, but it actually has victims, ladies and gentlemen. And they are the society, the major morality and moral degradation through generation. Because ladies and gentlemen, those are a wide range and long time effect of the victimless crime. Maybe we cannot get the murder people on the road because of this victimless crime, and we cannot get the people being hurted by this. No, but victimless crime is still crime. Crime is still crime, whoever do that, and with the direct victims or no, it's still illegal and does more harm than good to society. And even there's no good for it. Ladies and gentlemen, for some cases of victimless crime, we have drugs, we have gamblings, and so prostitution and so on. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. Do all of this doesn't have victim? Do all of this doesn't have bad things of it? Actually, it has. Actually, those have bad things. Those have bad effects for the people. So let's take a look on first. The gambling. The gambling is about money. The unhealthy money cycle, which is actually illegal things to do. And gambling causes disadvantages for the perpetrator itself, the family, and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, gambling is bad, not just for the people who do that, but also for the people around them, because money is important. And the people who do gamblings doesn't care about their family anymore, doesn't care about the money anymore, just want to have fun, and the family and the friends and the people who depends on them are the victims of gambling. And second, we can move to drugs. Ladies and gentlemen, we can say that drugs give and affect a lot of society. Because ladies and gentlemen, when someone gets drugs, then they lose their mind, then they do a lot of crime, then they bother the society, and that makes the society become the victim. Maybe not the direct victim that the society won't be murdered in the road, no, but ladies and gentlemen, the society, the people will be the victim because they are get bothered, because their mental are being distracted, because their moral are being broken. It's being broken by the criminal people who do that, ladies and gentlemen. And the third, we have prostitution as the victimless crime too. Maybe some of people don't think that prostitution become the one of the victimless crime, but actually it is illegal things, and we can categorize it as the victimless crime because actually it doesn't have us direct victims. But ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, and let's link back to the first thing that I would like to say, that victimless crime actually have victims, even not direct victims. And for the prostitution, in some cases, actually prostitution includes force people to do that. So not all people are being volunteer, not all people are willing to do that, but some of them are also being forced. And that's why we called it illegal. That's what we called it bad, and also being crime, because it does a lot of harm to people. And we have illustrate about three categories of victimless crime, and both of them cause inconvenience in society. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe you think that victimless crime has no victim, but actually it does, like what I said before. And this kind of crime, the gambling, the drugs, the prostitution, and so on, so a lot of crime without direct victims actually makes people afraid. People are afraid, people feel unsafe to go outside. People feel unsafe, and maybe they lose their interest, they lose their trust to government, to people outside, and it creates inconvenience life, then it will be chaotic all over the society. And ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister side once said that rehabilitation can be effective to handle the victimless crime. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. We have rehabilitation centers in our spaces, in our region? Well, actually, I can say that it won't be effective because rehabilitation centers are not well distributed. Just in some region, just in some limited space, that they have rehabilitation center of the crimes such as drugs, gambling, prostitution, and so on. But let's take a look on the physical side of rehabilitation, ladies and gentlemen. Because of rehabilitation, maybe the government think and believe, and so on. People think that rehabilitation will change the behavior into good one, into better one. So they trust the rehabilitation. But actually, we know that a lot of people who did bad things, who did crime, can be easily changed. Like the people who like smoking, when we say that stop smoking, they won't stop that easily because they have that behavior, and it's hard to change. And if we place rehabilitation as the main solution, then I would like to say that it won't be effective to do. And then criminalized victims crime means we would like to record the crime, putting law on crime handling, which are to avoid continued cases. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that some cases and they will repeat their behavior. So that's why we need to record them to make them afraid of law, to make them understand that it's bad to do that. So they can be hard to get their job. It's hard to be accepted by society and so on. And that's why we need to record them to make them know that they are wrong. They didn't do something good with a crime. So we can see and we can hope that they will stop their behavior. They will stop their bad behavior, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we can trust we can trust them directly whether they can change or no. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, let's link back to what I believe, that I, as the leader of opposition, because we believe that this house should criminalize victimless crime even they have no direct victims. I think that's enough for my speech today. That's all, and thank you very much.